And we're live.
Oh, hello.
Hi, Sam. Welcome. Right. So, hi, guys. Welcome to Walk on the Spirit Side. It's still a new podcast. Thank you so much, Sam, for coming along. Now, Sam has got
Thank you for asking me. Yeah, thank you for asking me.
Sam has got a really interesting loads and loads of stuff here. So I can't wait for our conversation today. So Sam is a psychic medium who's a shamanic practitioner and a witch and also a teacher. So we've got quite a lot to cover today of Sam's experiences and how she got into it. So I said thank you for joining. I met Sam at one of your groups, wasn't it? Which is last year with the circle.
Yeah,
On the meetup group. So so about a year probably now. It's got to be, isn't it?
Got to be. Yeah, it's got to be.
It's got to be. Yeah. Right. Okay. So I got some questions. So we're going to start from the very beginning. Sam, how did your spiritual? How did it all start?
Well, I've always been interested. I'm not one of these people that can say to you guys, "Oh, I can remember seeing spirit when I was little." I'm not that person. Yeah. But I've always been interested, and I used to go to a lot of these village hall psychic fairs and things like that. I used to toddle off with my mum, and I'd always sort of like get, "Oh, you should be doing this. You should be doing this," and I was very much like, well, yeah, you're going to say that. I've just paid you 20 quid. I was very much of that sort of feeling. I suppose I didn't have any confidence in myself. Didn't feel I was interested, but didn't feel it was me. Although, I was very good at knowing how people felt and things like that. I was sussing out a situation. I was very good at that. And then what happened is, about 15 years ago now, 12, 15 years ago now, I had a health scare. And I ended up in a cardiac ward at quite a young age, early 40s, thinking, oh my God, is this it? Is this me gone? And it was very much a case of, it sort of enlightened me. It sort of woke me up. I like to call it, it was my spiritual awakening. And it just started from there. I started going to seances and things like that. Met a chap who was reading my tarot and things like that, who was based sort of very near to where I live in Windsor. And he then said, oh, would you fancy coming to a trance class? And I was like, oh, I don't know, what's trance? I was very naive on what a lot of stuff was.
So what, sorry to... Yeah, well, I suppose we could have a conversation about trance later on, and you can sort of explain what is trance for some of the viewers that don't know. Yeah, sure. What is trance? Yeah,
and I know that you have Jackie coming on next month, and she knows a lot more about trance than me.
Oh, lovely! Yeah, I can't. I'm looking.
I can sort of like obviously say what it is, but she has actually done it. So
yeah.
So anyway, so I went to this trance group in a lady's house in Amersham, and just sort of like meeting people. And shall I tell you what? I've got anyone out there that's wondering whether they have the gift or anything. I have to say that the most freeing thing on all of these paths is just being with like-minded people. Yeah. We do put our head over the parapet to be ridiculed a little bit, I think, and people don't understand it, or don't believe it, and that's fine. They don't have to believe it. There's lots of things in the world I don't believe in, but it just being in these circles with like-minded people is liberating. So, if anyone out there listening is wondering, give it a go. Just give it a go. If you don't like it, you don't go back, do you?
Yeah, and it takes a while, doesn't it, to adjust to any of that kind of stuff, because it's like anything, isn't it? You're learning about the skills and then putting it into practice. It can be quite difficult. So how did you sort of like develop your abilities, and where did it start? I mean, you told me sort of kind of
I ended up in a really weird compartment of spirituality. because by going to this lady's house and doing the trance group with this guy, she is a very renowned and very well known and very good physical medium, and she said, I'm going to do a physical circle, I want to give it a go, you know. And I was lucky enough to be asked. I think it's right place, right time, that sort of thing, you know. Okay. So my proper sort of introduction, I suppose, into mediumship was physical mediumship. Most people, it's platform mediumship and things like that, but mine was actually physical mediumship.
Wow.
And I sat in that circle for, I sat in that circle for 8 years, ending up being the circle leader. In the meantime, I did other stuff, like I went to Psychic Development Circle. I now teach Psychic Development Circle, which is how I met you. But you know, I've done the thing. I've gone and sat in circle as a student myself for years. You can never stop learning, you know. So even now, I love to go and learn stuff. My biggest love, though, is really weird. Is my biggest love is my shamanic practitioning. And
well, I was just about to ask you.
I love my shamanic practitioning.
So it was like, go into these places. I'm just going to review back. Go into these different places that got you interested. Then you done the psychic medium, and that's when you started doing practicing mediumship. So how did you get into the shamanic side of it?
It was really from the Psychic Development Circle, because Psychic Development Circles, I mean, my belief is most people are psychic, whether they want to be or not. It's what you feel is that intuition, that energy that's between us. You know, if you're in the same room and you're standing next to them, even if you're on the bus or the train and you go, oh, you know, you can pick things up. Yeah. It's a bit like that animal instinct, you know, if you're listening, and only if you listen. And again, anything I say is just my opinion. I'm not saying you have to believe it, you know, it's very much my opinion. So one of the guys that came there, he was very much into shamanics. And he was going to start a talking circle. Well, those of you that know me know that talking is one of my favorite things to do. So I was like, I can do that, a talking circle with a stick so no one can interrupt. You know, that sounds a bit of me. So off I toddled to this talking circle, still very much looking for, I suppose nothing was really, I was loving all of it. I was really into all of it, but there wasn't that one thing that was giving me that big cuddle. Do you know what I mean? It was like, yeah, I was still looking in a way. So the circle set up, we did the talking circle. One of the most freeing and liberating things I've ever done is a talking circle, and actually going to be bringing that into our own drum circle. I've spoken to Jackie about that, and we will be bringing it into her.
So what is talking circle? Sorry to interrupt.
No, that's fine, because I'll just ramble. You have to interrupt me because I don't stop for breath.
I'll put my hand up.
Yeah, no, you have like a talking stick. So, but it could be like this. Could be your talking stick. This nice sphere. Okay. Yeah. So whatever, you can have anything that is a stick, and basically you sit in a circle, and it's a very healing and releasing sort of thing, because basically you can just rant, and I like a rant as well as the next person, about anything that annoyed you. So if your boss has annoyed you on that day, you can rant about them. If your family have annoyed you, you can rant about them. You know, if you've had a bit of a to-do in Tesco's or Sainsbury's or whatever supermarket you go to, you can rant about them. If you missed your train. So it's basically just releasing, get it all off, get it out there. The thing with the circle, though, is, you know, if you were talking to people sort of like you'd all gone out for coffee or something, and, you know, you were saying something that really annoyed you, what would then happen is we'd go, oh, yeah, but Kerry, have you thought about this? Maybe it was you a bit harsh, you know, maybe they're having a bad day. So you get people trying to help, but they're interjected. You're not allowed to do that in a talking circle. It's about people ranting and getting it off with no questions that they feel they might have to justify their actions or justify their belief system or anything. So it's full on releasing. And then when you've had your 5 minutes allotted time or whatever it is, you just take your talking stick, and you pass it to you, Kerry, and you would take it, and then you'd have your rant, and no one else. It's very freeing. It's very freeing, because you don't have to explain yourself, and you could be being totally unreasonable. No, you're being totally unreasonable, and no one can tell you that. But just by saying what you want to get off your chest is freeing and healing. So it's a healing technique, really. So I went to that, and as circles sometimes do, it started to diminish in numbers a little bit. So the time allotted was, becoming bigger and bigger and things like that. So the chap started saying, well, I'll show you how to journey. And we're like, oh, okay. And yeah, I was hooked. I was just hooked from the journeying. So I mean,
how has it helped you, Sam? Doing that, because obviously the medium, I know about the generally, I suppose the viewers don't, but like, how has, we're getting so far because there's so much more to sort of open wide to. So how did like this helped you personally for you? Because it's all like, I know.
I think it gave me belief. It gave me belief that sat with my personality, because we all have our own different belief systems, which we should do. We all believe in different things. We all have different techniques. We sit more comfortably. I mean, you'll never find me on a platform. Never. I will never be doing platform mediumship. It's not where I sit comfortably. I'm quite happy to expose myself in this manner because I can't see anyone watching. So there's no one watching. I'm just having a chat with you, Kerry. Do you know what I mean? No one's watching.
Nice, isn't it?
So I'm comfortable in that situation. I'm comfortable in small groups. When I do teach, I teach small groups. I don't like large numbers. I feel that in a large number scenario, the quieter people get left behind because you end up having to spend all your time on the louder people. And I'm not dissing louder people. I am one, but I don't really like working over a group of 8 in person in one of my workshops. They're normally maximum 8. So yeah, I've lost where I was going. Where was I going?
How did shamanic
the
shamanic help you?
So I think it was the belief. It felt comfortable to me. Now the shamanics is such a weird thing because shamanics is very much it's a label that a lot of the Western world have put on certain things. Basically, it just means cultural of indigenous tribes, wherever that indigenous tribe might be in the world. It could be in Scotland, it doesn't. But a lot of people think about it as Native Americans and things like that. And the word shaman's not even a Native American word. It's a Siberian word. So, they probably wouldn't even recognize that word back in the day. So, and you do get a lot of things thrown at you about cultural appropriation. But I think people just like to jump on that bandwagon, the cultural appropriation bandwagon. So, I mean, I'm very Celtic looking and I'm very Celtic historically. I've done my family tree. It's all very Celtic. That doesn't mean to say spiritually I haven't been tied to people from indigenous tribes, and Celtic, has their own shamanism, their own thing as well. So it just sang to me on some level, on a spiritual level. And I was just hooked. It's all about healing. There's parts of it I don't do through choice. I don't do plant medicine. I know people that do, and I know that they get very, very good benefits out of it. I choose not to because I'm on a lot of medication in my own right, so I don't want to start mix and matching. It's not pick and mix, is it?
No, I get what you're saying.
So and I just love teaching it. I just love the healing aspect of it. But then all spirituality is healing. I do tarot readings and I class that as healing. I class it all as healing.
I quite agree. And you learn so much about yourself, don't you, when you start doing practices? And
I learned I was a bit of a stalker, to be honest. Because
I'm a stalker now. I watch
stalker because when the chap he had to move away, so he sort of closed the circle, and I was like, no, you can't close. I've still got so much to learn. So I was like, well, who did you learn with then? So he told me, and I said, well, where's she based? So he told me. So I stalkishly looked her up. I stalkishly started following her at churches and doing her workshops. And then I very stalkishly started saying, are you going to train people to do this then? So basically, I didn't give her much of a choice. I just kept turning up. Hi, I was a bit like that. Funny enough, I'm going to one of her events in a couple of weeks' time. So again, I'll just be stalking her. But she's my shamanic mentor, and yeah. So I still
think
go.
I mean, you learn so much from other people anyway. In general, don't you? Not just in a practitioner or a teaching way, but through other people and what they do. And I mean, I've watched tarot. You know, I'm a stalker in that aspect. I'll watch all different bits and pieces, and I've gained so much knowledge as well as doing stuff in the circle and that. And I like you, I love to learn. I like to absorb things and see where it, you know, fits with fits. You know, so I got to go backwards now because we got like we talked about. So how did you get into witching? The witching side of it, or did that come
My
after
friend
you?
Jackie, she bullied me into it. That's my version of events. When you have her on next month, she'll probably give you a different version, but I got my version in first. So I don't know really. The witchcraft thing is a very sort of you know, Hollywood has done a really good deed on witches, hasn't they? You know?
Yeah. Well, they have with tarot in that as well,
Yeah,
they?
they're looked at quite negatively, and I do feel it was sort of in COVID when we had more time, and it was a bit like, you know, you have more time in your garden and things like that, so you start looking up things, or how do I make this, how do I make that, I can't get down the shop and buy it, let's make a lip balm, let's make a bath shower, you know, I mean, one of the easiest things to make is a bath bomb, you know, it really is, and you can make it exactly how you want it to smell. So it was that sort of thing, and herbs and that sort of thing. And then everything I was looking at was a bit like, oh, this is a bit witchy. Although we had sort of joined a coven before COVID.
So what's a coven?
It's like, well, the lady that runs it wouldn't call it a coven because it's a bit too eclectic to be a coven.
Yeah.
Although as a slapdash term of describing it in my head, I call it a coven because then I know what I'm talking about because I have so many circles. So yeah, but it's very much, I mean, don't believe what Hollywood and everywhere else tells you it is. It's very much a path for people that love the outdoors. I'm not going to say there's not black magic. There is black magic, but that's down to the practitioner, not the magic, really. You know, if you want to follow it, you're going to follow it, you know. But there's a lot of good out there. It's very much around healing, nature, you know, looking after yourself. Yeah, you can make spells. Of course you can make spells, you know, and you can make spells for the good of yourself. Who doesn't like making a money spell, you know? And, you know, it's like that. So it's one of those things that I sort of dipped my toe into. And then I think someone pushed me in, you know, and I'm still struggling to get out of it. But if you ask me what I was or who I was, I would say I was a shamanic practitioner first. You know,
Right,
that's where I would say that's
so
what I am.
That's your main thing.
I think so. Well, this week, yeah. You know, it might change next year. It totally evolves. You know, the first thing I ever taught was tarot. You know, and who thought I'd ever be a teacher of this stuff? Yeah, I love it. I love sharing it. I love people. I love the amazement on people's face. Just to slowly go off track a little bit, because that's what I do.
No, you're fine. I mean, that was the next thing I was gonna.
Yeah, one of the best things we did recently, which was really quite cool. What's happening to my hair? It's so hot, isn't it? I know. What's going on here? Who's done that? There's fairies that live in this room. They've obviously been playing with my hair. We do in-person day retreats in Surrey.
Yeah.
And we do a bit of everything, but goddess work, a bit of witchcraft, drumming, shamanism. One of the things we do there is a bit of psychic development. And we were doing some aura work, you know, showing people, not necessarily people who feel they're psychic, but will say, well, you're psychic, you know.
Yeah.
So we thought, oh, let's show them the aura. So we're doing the standard stuff, you know, rub your hands, feel the aura, do all this, you know, is it big, is it small, you know, can you feel people's hands in your aura, all this. And then towards the end of it, we showed them that once they're in the aura and they know where the aura is, you can push people without touching them. And
I can remember.
Yeah,
that,
and people are like, yeah, they're like, no, you can't. Go, try it, go on, try it. No, yeah, the cynics out there are going to say, oh, it's because you know you're being pushed, so you move, you know, your brain's waiting for the push, so it's moving. Yeah, the scientists can believe that. I still believe that if you push someone's aura, you can move them. We've all stood in crowds, haven't we, and gone, oh, like that, and no one's touched you, but someone's walked past you. Yeah.
I mean, it is a proven fact that we don't use a lot of our brain. You know, that there's still percentages of our brain that we haven't used or involved.
Large percentages as well, I believe.
Yeah. So, you know, and it's interesting, you know, when people are in situations as well, how they can like lift cars and they find this ultimate strength. So, you know, so yeah, you know, never say never on things, is it?
It's just amazing in that situation. It was amazing for them to realize they could do it. Just the look on their face, you know, the fact like, wow, I did that, you know. And I love giving people that comment. You sat in our circle, Kerry, for a little while, and it's, you know, myself and Gemma, it's not really so much about teaching you. We teach you methods, you know, we teach you how to do certain things if you choose to use that method. We obviously talk about protection and grounding and safeguarding and things like that are really important things. But mainly our aim is to give you guys confidence, to believe in yourself. And we say that all the way through. We say that all the time, you know. We're here with our 10 stepping stones to give you. We'll help you lay 3. You're going to lay the other 7, not us. You know, we're just here to be a foundation for you in a little way.
Yeah. Well, when I started, I wasn't getting out very much, and I come away from the spiritual. I done a lot of home study, you know, like journaling and stuff with the tarot and that, and I would dip in and dip out. But I knew it was time. You know, when you get that push, I just felt a push. And then I seen your thing, your circle, you know, advertising on Meetup group, because I joined Meetup group to mix and mingle with people. And I haven't looked back since. And yeah, I would say the circle has helped me sort of reground myself a bit and kind of start, because I didn't know, it was hard to sort of like speak to people, you know, when they say, well, what's your gifts and that, and I'm like, and I didn't want to call myself specific things because I needed it to prove it to myself before I could say that to other people, if you know what I mean. And I don't get me wrong, I'm still in, you know, I still train. I think you forever training in this business because there's so much to learn, and things to go over as well, because we can only absorb so much information. So it was a great experience, I found. There, and also you've got another another bit in Meetup, which is people that can do practicing readings, which I think is amazing, and that doesn't cost anything.
So that's my free circle, because I don't teach. I only charge when I teach. If I'm not teaching, I'm just providing a service. And the really, really good thing about that is I have a guy now, my lovely Portuguese friend Miguel. He's lovely. He actually does it more than me now. I was going to say, I mean, I'm like, Miguel, I can't come. Can you do it? You know, and he's like, okay, you know, and he's lovely. And I met him through that group. But the thing is, I was teaching tarot a lot, and I was saying, right, off you go then, go and get your insurance, off you go, off your toddle and enjoy your life, and go off giving lovely positive readings. And what didn't occur to me to start off with was that people didn't have the confidence. They had the knowledge and they could do it, but they weren't confident enough in doing it. And I was like, well, what can I do this? I can't keep charging them to come to circles just for confidence. You know, I felt a bit of a rip-off doing that, to be honest. You know, I've taught you how to do it. So I thought, I'll tell you what, I'm just going to set up a group and see if anyone turns up. I've got to be honest, it's been running about 3 years now, and when I first set it up, there was about 4 of us just reading for each other, you know. But now it has grown. You know, sometimes, especially in the summer months, there's still only about 4 or 6 people because people are out in their gardens and things like that. But we have people from all over the world. You know, we have a lady that comes regularly from Hawaii, wakes up at 7 o'clock in the morning, bless her, to come.
Bless her. I
You know,
think it's amazing. I
yeah,
mean,
and
that was
it
one of the things
it
that I
runs
got back.
once a week. So yeah.
Yeah, I think it's absolutely because it's on a Sunday and a Monday, and
Yeah, I do
think
Sundays and Miguel does Mondays.
yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah, and both of you are so like open, so any conversations and stuff. So I think for anyone who's just like beginning, and you know, even people that's been doing tarot for years, because I've done it for years. But you know, it's nice to because I was we were doing bits on mediumship in your circle, and so I was like crystal ball we did. So I was like, I thought I started using those and going into that and practicing that, rather than doing it publicly. Do privately,
Yeah, it's for any type of reading, you know.
And I think
when it started, it was mainly tarot, and I think, to be honest, the majority of people still do the tarot or the oracle. But obviously, I don't know because I'm not watching them, because you're privately put in breakout rooms, so you're not being scrutinized, which helps with the confidence not having that. So, but I believe some people have practiced runes, and some people have done mediumship, and there's all sorts of things, it's there for anything, the only thing really we ask is that people are kind and courteous to each other.
I will say to everybody that that all information with Sam, need to contact Sam and all her groups and everything is all in the description box. So if you want to come and join the circles and or go to those 3 things, you have to be, they have to be a member of the meetup group for the tarot.
I don't really know how meetup works. I don't know if you can, because I've joined because I pay to advertise.
Yeah.
I don't think you have to be a member though, do you, to look at their events on there? I gotta be honest, I'm not 100% sure. I mean, was you a member when you found the group?
I was a member. Yeah.
So you might have to. I mean, I'm all over Facebook as well, and I've started putting stuff on Eventbrite as well. So yeah, I mean, I'm easy to find because I have a really unusual surname.
I have got like the links, specific links that you've given me, and what I've found personally, what I've used myself. So I have like sent that. I want to go more into the teaching aspects of it. How did you get into the teaching?
I don't know. I don't know. How did I get onto the teaching? I don't know. I think it was definitely through tarot. Myself and a friend who we learnt tarot together under the same guy. We set up a circle. We got this set up a circle on a Friday. It didn't last long, to be honest, because we lived quite a long way from each other. So I had to sort of it was like an hour for me to drive to her house and back each time. And she had small children at the time, so it was only fair it was done that way. I don't know how long, maybe about 6 months. But what really happened in that circle is myself and my friend, Marty, her name is, we ended up actually teaching. So it was by accident that we ended up teaching in a way, because people would come and, we were holding the circles. We were the facilitator as such. And people would then start asking questions. So, and then it sort of organically evolved, because people were just like, well, can you teach me tarot? Can you teach me? And the psychic development circle I was in at the time, I feel that I probably taught nearly all of them tarot over a period of years. Most people I know, I've taught them tarot.
So you just naturally went into it then?
I think so. As you probably, well, you know me, Kerry, I'm not afraid to talk, so no. I can feel space. I can feel space with any old jargon, to be honest. I'm very good at, I know you shouldn't say it as a teacher, but winging it. But I don't mean making it up. I mean, like, filling the gap. I mean, a really funny story with with Jackie when we first started doing the circle online, because we did the psychic development circle in person to start off with. Then the dreaded COVID came along. None of us did anything for a couple of months because we all thought it was only going to last. You know, we all thought we was on like 4-week holiday, didn't we? And the world would be back to normal. Little did we know.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So then we started doing it, and so we planned it all, we prepped it all, and there's a lot of prep that goes into these circles behind the scenes. You know, you can spend hours writing the material. And so it was a 90-minute circle. She had 45 minutes, I had 45 minutes. And I mean, I don't know if she's watching today. She's probably laughing if she's watching, because she knows where I'm going with this. Because she doesn't talk as much as me. I don't let her. That's it. I don't let her get a word in. And so she was first because she does all the meditations. Extremely good at writing and doing meditations. Beautiful voice. You know her, Kerry. She's got a beautiful voice. Very good at that. So I'm like, you can do that.
Yeah.
I'm doing that. So there she'd opened the circle. She's done her meditation and everything. She's talking about a subject. I can't remember what it was. We were doing beginners at the time. We specialised in beginners. So it had all been about grounding, opening chakras, all that sort of stuff, auras, you know, protection. And so I'm like just biding my time, waiting for my turn and everything. And then I hear, after about 15 minutes, hand over to Sam. I was like, she's only done 20 minutes. I've only got 45 minutes of work here. And I've now got an hour and 10 minutes to work in or something.
Oh, no.
But surprising as it might be, Kerry, I managed to fill the time in. And the circle overruns sometimes. It's always my fault. It's always my fault because I just keep talking. So I think that's how teaching became. I think that's sorry because we've got a bit of delay. We're talking over each other. Sorry, I'll shut up.
It's all right. No, we've got a few people so that's come into the chat. I don't know if you can see the chat.
I can't see the chat. No. It's only because I've got it on big screen. That's why.
So I've got I can't. Sorry, Tracy, I cannot pronounce the name. So she says it's Milkwai. So sorry if I've apologized if I've misinterpreted that. This conversation resonates, and I would love to learn more. So there's Tracy. I got my daughters in tow, so they're always my little supporters in there. So Tracy would like to, learn more. Which, if you're looking, Tracy, of course, look in the description box, description, and information's there, so you can contact Sam. But we will be doing, if you want to ask some questions in the chat, a bit, I will prompt that in a little bit, and you can ask Mawakai.
I can see the chat now. I've worked it out.
Oh, I'm so dyslexic.
She's from Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Milwaukee. Thank you. I'm so dyslexic. But apologize, Tracy, for the misinterpretation with that. So if you do want to ask questions, I will prompt into that. So we were talking, sorry, I interrupt you, we lose based on that. So we got talking about your your teaching and stuff. What is it that you actually love about your work? Yay. Got there in the end, Tracy. Got there. So what is it that you love about teaching?
I just really love I love working with beginners. I really do, because I remember what it was like to be a beginner, and it's just that awe. It's that excitement. It's that, oh blimey, did I really see that? Yeah, I know. Monday and Tuesday we're psychic, and Wednesday, we're just mad, and Thursday we're not sure. That's the world of a psychic and a medium. Do you know what I mean? One day we're imagining it. The next thing we're the best healers out there. That comes with the territory, I think, to be honest.
I had, when I started out, the issues I had for grounding, am I doing it right? Because I overthink things anyway. And so it's really hard at the beginning because you're trying to, like you said, that excitement and that, trying to absorb everything. And we're going, what does that mean? What does this mean? Hey Sam, brilliant tarot teacher.
I paid her to say that.
Hi Tina.
Now Tina Moore is an amazing platform medium. Dates and times this lady gets, honestly, amazing. I did teach her tarot, by the way, but amazing platform medium, honestly. Really good girl, really good.
So so I've interrupted you. But we were talking about how you sort of like got involved into teaching and how you sort of like.
I just love showing people or giving them the confidence to believe what they know is happening to them.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of us as well, we don't have the support of our families always.
No.
You know, so it's sometimes a very lonely journey until you can find your tribe, your little group, your little circle that you might go and sit in on a Wednesday night, you know, and feel comfortable and can say stuff about the shadow at the end of the bed, or the person that you saw in the corner, or the voices you were hearing when you made dinner, without getting that sideways look, without getting that look as if oh she's off again. Do you know what I mean? And people do it without even realizing they're doing it, especially family, and it can be a very, very lonely journey. So people withdraw from it, and I just love saying to you, don't withdraw. I mean, you don't have to go and shout it from the rooftops. Do you know what I mean? But you can still enjoy it, and believe in it, and be allowed to follow your belief system. I don't really want to get into a sort of like a weird area here, but other people are allowed to believe in their beliefs.
I like weird areas.
No, but there's religions out there, and they're allowed to believe in. I mean, as spiritualists in the UK, and I know we have some American people here, but as spiritualists in the UK, until recently, we weren't even allowed to call ourselves spiritualists. It wasn't a recognised term. So if you filled a form in, you'd have to either put atheist or Christian or Muslim or Hindu or whatever you were. You were not allowed to put a spiritualist down. Now, thankfully, that law was changed. So now we can fill our forms in and we can say we're a spiritualist. However, if we run any events in this country, and you'll see it, those of you that are living in the UK will see it on TV programs, you have to have the caveat for entertainment purposes only.
Yeah, I got to put it all on my
so when the vicar is in church on a Sunday, before he reads his sermon, does he have to say for entertainment purposes only? No, he doesn't. So why do we? What in some ways, what's the difference? We're only believing in what we choose to believe in. So why is that so wrong? But anyway, that's gone to a serious side.
It's okay.
I'm gonna have a cup of tea.
My daughter, she goes, I like doing it, but I poo my pants.
That's a different circle on a different night.
Yeah. No, I mean, back in when I started first doing tarot and stuff, it was back in the 90s, and I didn't even know churches existed. It was only when I moved back to Bristol that I found a church, and I used to dip in, dip out, and it's
spiritualist church now, yeah, we've got quite a lot near us, to be honest, but I live quite near London, so we're a bit way out there, we're city folk.
I like this. I should have been born in the 60s, I reckon. So I want to go back to the shamanic a minute. I know I'm diverting. So if someone was looking to do this shamanic healing, what would be the benefits for them? I know we talked about the benefits for you, but what would be the?
I think the right, my opinion again, and this is just my opinion. I don't say it's God sent truth or anything. It's just my opinion. Is everyone can do with healing, and the person that is looking for the healing will find the right type of healing for them. Whether that be a Reiki master, whether that be self-healing, whether that be a doctor, or whether that be a shamanic practitioner. of some form. You know, I believe that platform mediumship is healing. It's healing for the grieving. I believe that tarot cards are healing. You know, you're uplifting people by giving them good information. I mean, you shouldn't be ending a tarot reading pessimistically, even if there's some sad or, you know, not the best things going on in the tarot reading. You should always end it uplifting. Who wants to leave a tarot reading in tears? No one.
Yeah, I make sure I chuck. I mean, I chuck oracle cards afterwards because it just like lightens it down a little bit.
Yeah, not as brutal as tarot, are they?
No, no. If you're on a bad day, you don't use tarot.
Yeah, not as brutal. Not as and I hear that the runes are really brutal. I don't read runes, but I hear they're really brutal.
That's what I started off of with those runes, but we're not talking about me. We were talking about you. My daughter, she goes, I love the oracle cards. Got so many cards. So I find, you know, tarot and oracle cards, but I find it actually, to be honest, I find it all fascinating, absolutely all fascinating. So so we're gonna go back because I'm gonna
back to shamanic healing.
We're gonna go back.
I mean, shamanic healing, you can do a lot of self-healing and everything with the plant medicine and things like that. But the actual healing process is nearly always emotional healing. But obviously stress, which is an emotional healing, can actually manifest physical problems. You know, it's a well-known fact that stress can do that. So there's various types of healing that I practice. So the main healing that I do is empowerment healing, which is basically to just give you a bit of a, you know, a pep, you know, here's an elephant, he's giving you strength and a long memory, you won't forget, but you know, and things like that. I mean, that's just tongue-in-cheek because elephants mean so much more than that, but you know, but that's what an empowerment would think, give you the energy and the belief to believe in yourself, and when you have your little doubts, take the qualities of that animal to push yourself forward, you know, and things like that. So that's the empowerment healing. There's then this past life healing, which obviously does what it says on the tin. The thought is that there's things we carry in this world that we don't know why. A phobia would be necessary. You know, if you were scared of water, but you don't remember having any drowning incidences in this life, the chances are you might have had one in a past life. So you can heal that because it no longer serves you in this life and could be holding you back. The biggest one is soul retrieval, which is major healing, major healing. So, and that takes a while. That's not come to my house for a little while and let's do a soul retrieval. It doesn't work like that. There's drum healing, and you know, I hold a drum circle every month with Jackie. So there's just this, I mean, and that's just sound healing, which is a proven form of healing. You know, the scientists have proved about the sound healing and the beta waves and everything else, you know, with us being, what is it, 76% water or whatever we are. There's also, I do curse removals, attachment removals. And
so, you know, what's curse removals and attachment removals?
Well, we're not.
Sorry, someone was. We're not doing any oracle or tarot today. We're just talking about spirituality and different things. But maybe come back. You know, stick around. You might learn. You know, learn something, and you know, might get your curiosity going. Sorry, Sam. Sorry.
That's okay.
You were saying. So, what is attachments and, you know?
Well, curse removal is what it says on the tin, really. But again, let's take Hollywood out of the equation here. In our day and age, in our society, and I'm only talking about our society, we don't normally go around cursing people. It costs time and money, and it's a lot of energy to do that. So you've really got to want to hurt someone to do that sort of shit, to be honest. Yeah. Here's my language. But it's not like, oh, I curse you and you're cursed. We're not talking about that sort of thing. You know, I can't speak for other cultures and whether that goes on, and, you know, I'm not going to. But most of the curses that are around nowadays, we've actually cursed ourselves, you know, and it's by the word of mouth. It's by the power of manifestation. You know, it's the belief, like, let's put a simple one there, like, oh, I mean, it's £180 million lottery today isn't it? That's an obscene amount of money. But anyway, we're going to win it. Don't worry, Kerry. I've cast a spell. I'm joking, everyone. Yeah. But if we win now, what we're going to say to everyone?
I'll be happy.
But to most of us, we curse ourselves. You know, so we're like, oh, I don't know why I'm playing the lottery. I'm never going to win it. By continuously saying that,
so
you're
negative
yourself
talking.
You're manifesting negativity around yourself, which is really a modern day curse. There is this theory, though, about you're then cursing your 7 future ancestral lines. Yeah. So you could be stuck in the middle of a curse. And this is where curse removal comes in play, really. To stop cursing your line, then just be careful and mindful of what you say. You know, but if you're in the middle, if my great-great-grandma cursed our line, I'm sort of right slap bang in the middle of the 7. So it's about going back and healing that, finding out what they said, finding out about. So it's a mix of certain things, but finding it all out and then breaking that curse. So then breaking it for me and then the next 3 generations, you know. So that's curse removal. Although I'm not saying that people don't curse each other, but it's not like we see in the movies. You know, I'm sure if you really, really piss off a witch, then watch out. You know, if they've got the time, money, and energy, then who knows? You know, but
wow, you get
attachment removal is attachment removal is slightly different because you might not even be aware of that. And a lot of that's down to what I would call good spiritual hygiene. You know, make sure you're grounded, make sure you're protected, you know, make sure you remember to close after working with spirit and don't go around open. And that's why I really truly believe they're so important to teach beginners, because they don't know this stuff. And if no one's going to show them and tell them, how are they going to know? You know, and there's people out there that just don't protect themselves for no other reason that they don't know how to. And it's as simple as just walking into a bubble of white light, you know, and having intention. Intention is the most important and the most key thing in all spiritual aspects, I believe. You know, if your intention is pure and good and you make sure you keep to it, then I'm not going to say nothing will ever go wrong, you know, but you're in a better place, you know. But so an attachment really is a spiritual entity that has attached itself to you, you know, and they need to be removed. There's many different ways of removing them. There's many different, you know, different types of mediums that can remove them, you know. But yeah, because they can affect your personality and things like that. You know, I'm not talking about possession. That's something completely different and extremely rare. Yeah, extremely rare. So, I mean, there are cases of it. You can Google them and you can read about them. You know, I'm talking about attachments, which are a milder form, really. You know, spiritual attachment, but there's extremes in all sorts of things, isn't there? So you can remove.
What would be the symptoms people would have to look out for? You know, if they, you know.
A lot of people don't realise. It would be a change of personality. Would definitely be one. A change of behaviour could be another one. Just feeling generally unwell. You know, it depends what's attached to you. Right, you know. So there'd be no. A lot of the time your family and friends might notice before you, but I don't want to sit here and give us a set.
No.
Every case would be different. Every case would be different, you know. And you've got to remember as well, some people that have acquired an attachment and may have had it for many years, they're comfortable with it. It feels normal to them as well. They know no different. If it's been attached for 15 years, they don't know no different. You know, so it's a very it's a very random sort of thing that could be out there, you know, as well. And you'd have to take each. If someone came to me for shamanic healing, so say I've spoken to you about different shamanic healing, you came to me and said, Sam, I need soul retrieval, I'd go, well, we'll do a diagnostics journey first on that. Why do you think you need a soul retrieval? Well, my friend Tina, she had a soul retrieval with you and she said you were excellent, so I want it done as well. Well, what are the symptoms? Oh, I just know I need it, you know. So I would never say, well, okay, come on, let's go and do a soul retrieval. I would go, okay, come and see me. We'll do a diagnostics journey to see what's what. Have a chat, see what's going on in your life. And that would be the first thing. I'd put the kettle on and we'd have a chat, you know, to give me some idea of what's going on in your life. You know, are you just grieving? And I say that flippantly, like just grieving. That's an awful thing. But do you know what I mean?
No.
Is it grief that's making you feel like this? You know, do you actually need a past life healing, not a soul retrieval? Do you just need a boost? You just need empowerment? Have you got a curse attached to you? You know, so I'm not going to say, just because someone comes to me and says, this is what I need, I'm not going to take that as gospel, you know. And it's not me making that decision. So you're probably sitting there thinking, God, she's a bit big-headed, isn't she, saying that?
No, well,
it's spirit. I would go into it. I mean, a journey is a trance-like state, yeah, an altered state. So I would go into that journey. I would go to my spirit team, who would then go to your spirit team and tell them, and then my spirit team would come back and tell me. You know, so it would be done definitely by spirit in the background. You know, you have to as a medium, any medium really has to park their brain, because the brain is nosy and interfering and makes us doubt ourselves, because it questions everything. It has a job to do, which is to protect us and keep us alert. And you know, that was it, flight or fight mode and all that. That's the brain's job. So anything that comes into our head that might be a bit, oh, what's going on over there? You know, it's their job to protect us. It's their job to question. The thing is, as a medium, sometimes they just get in the way. You know, so you have to park it.
So the drumming, I've done drumming myself. I've had a go going back. I haven't been to one of your drummings, but I have done it. So, you know, I know exactly what, you know, I know bits about, you know, probably that much information. So could you tell me the benefits of the drumming, Sam?
The benefits, if you're looking at actual benefits to the body, it's a form of sound healing. There's no more than that.
Okay.
So a singing bowl, a gong, a drum, just do the same thing.
So it's just like
obviously they sound different. Yeah, they sound different. I'm not a great fan of singing bowls. However, you'd have to drag me kicking and screaming away from a gong, because I'd lay there all day. I love the gong. I really love it, you know.
Yeah, it's got quite a unique
and I think different people like different things, you know. But it's just a form of healing. It's a form of relaxation. If anyone has ever done a sound bath, they'll know. If anyone hasn't done a sound bath, please go and try it. You know, it's an amazing experience. And a lot of people still fall asleep. Like, oh, I'm not doing that, I'll fall asleep. It doesn't matter if you fall asleep, because it's working with the body, it's working with the water in your body and your beta waves in your brain to relax you, recharge you. Shamanic practitioners are supposed to heal themselves and are not supposed to heal when they need healing. So I actually have a sound bath every month, if I can get one, for my own personal healing, so I can then heal others. Not all healing practices and modalities are like that, and that's fine. You know, they still do their healing fine. You know, there's no difference there. But as a shamanic practitioner, you're supposed to be something that's called the hollow bone, which is like a channel that runs down you, probably through your chakra line, really. And it's supposed to be clean and clear and things like that. You know, you're taking on the essence of other spirits, so you don't want to taint them in any way. Sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say, so you teach, do you teach to do the practice of shamanic? Because I've heard you talking to Jackie about it.
I do. So, I hold workshops. Yeah. So there's two different sections here. I hold workshops, which is where people will come to me for healing. So in February, for instance, I hold fire ceremonies. Fire ceremonies are a major release. I make sure I do one each year myself. If you can do them around the full moon, please do. Full moons are very good for releasing, new moons for manifesting. You know, so the end of it, and the reason a fire ceremony should really be done at the end of the year, unless you need, you know, something's happened to you and you need to dump shit, excuse my language, dump shit in July, you know, then please do, you know. But normally it'd be done in the end of the year. So I can hear you all going, but you said February. February is the end of the year. It's the end of winter. You know, so when you actually go back into sort of any sort of witchy or shamanic or pagan-y sort of thing, well, witchy actually, just to confuse things, the end of the year is the end of October, Samhain, Halloween. But yes, shamanic, it would be the end of winter. So, and then I run a past life workshop. So that was done in June. There'll be a medicine wheel. The only thing I can't do as a workshop is a soul retrieval and that. So, yeah, so there's different things, empowerment, you know, meet your power animal. Who doesn't want to do that? You know, probably one of the most well looked at workshops that I do. You know, it's probably the busiest because everyone wants to know. Everyone wants to know.
I would like to know my banner animal.
Yeah, people love to know what their plan was. And then before you tell them, and then next time you see them, they've got it tattooed somewhere on them. True. It is true. But shamanic practitioning is, which is what I did with Jackie, is slightly different. It takes, it probably takes a year to 18 months to do, if you do it with me. I'm a bit of a taskmaster. There's homework and all sorts that goes on.
No, I wouldn't have thought that with you, Sam.
But it's the one thing I really take seriously. I take it all seriously. But if I'm going to train someone to be a shamanic practitioner, which means they can go out and heal people, and they're going out under my tutelage, under my mentoring, then they're going to do it properly. I'm sorry, I have to be really strict about that. I have an obligation to my mentor as well. You know, it's like a family tree in a way.
Yeah,
you know, you know, Kerry learnt by Sam learnt by Vanda. Do you know what I mean? So if I turn out someone that doesn't really know what they're doing, that doesn't look good on me, but it doesn't look good on my mentor either. You know, so yeah, so it takes a while. You'd have to do all the practices, and we've only skimmed a bit of it. You know, there's more. You'd have to do all the practices, and you'd have to go out and do them on your own. And you'd have to notarize them and give them back to me. So I know you've done them.
A bit like the 21-year-old 21 diary we had to do with the Reiki. When we did the training.
This is over 12 to 18 months.
Which is a long time. But
it's a long time.
Honest, Sam, I think it's beneficial for people to experience that. And if they've got like you've got like someone in the background, at least while you're practicing,
I'm open to them for that whole time.
Yeah.
And once they've passed out, I'm still open to them. I'm their tutor, I'm their teacher, I'm their mentor. You know, so I don't walk away after that. You know, you have to be there for that. And you know, you're actually giving them a responsibility to heal others as well. So you know, it's just I mean, you know me, I'm a bit of a clown, and I'll say silly things to make people laugh because I like making people laugh, but I'm very dedicated to the shamanic side of things. So yeah, you know, and people have come up to me and they go, I want to be a shamanic practitioner. Oh, so what do you know about it? Are you going to workshops? Are you going to healings? No. Well, how do you think you're going to be a shamanic practitioner then? Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to teach anyone shamanic practitioning if they're not a practicing shamanic person. You know, if they're not going to workshops, if they're not going to meetings, if they're not going to shamanic circles, why do they suddenly think they can be a shamanic practitioner with no knowledge?
Yeah, that would make sense because you kind of get guided. You know, I started out with the tarot, but then I started training into doing Reiki and then crystal therapy, and you know, and it sort of like stemmed from there. So you kind of get pulled. Now I've gone full circle and gone back to tarot, so it's sort of almost like you do really have to be really, it kind of calls you, doesn't it? It's one of those, you know, things that does call you to it.
Well, I've had a few people say to me, I want to be a practitioner, and you know, and those ones that I know aren't practicing any form of shamanism, I just say to them, go away for a year, do some shamanism, and then come back. You know.
Yeah, I know that.
See how it goes. And I don't take on a large amount of students on that at all. The last time I did that, I only had 2 students by choice.
Yeah.
You know, so because
I
they
think
deserve my time.
groups,
Do you know what I mean? They deserve as much of me as they can get.
yeah. So if someone was approaching you saying they wanted to start learning and development, what would you say to them?
Development of just psychic development.
Anything. Yeah. Well, psychic
Development, just come to the circle. Do you know what I mean? The
You've got
psychic
so
development.
many things, Sam.
No, but there's a psychic development circle. I would say come to that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
the psychic development circle is for that. You know, it's for nothing else than psychic development and mediumship. All levels are welcome. You know, if we were in a situation where we were doing something that's a bit more advanced, you know, there's two of us for a reason. You know, like tomorrow, for instance, the subject, because circle meets tomorrow, I think. Yeah, tomorrow. So I know there's at least one new person coming. Now, at this moment in time, I don't know their level of knowledge.
Yeah.
You know, so that they will be asked as soon as they come. If they're very, very, very new, the subject matter we're doing tomorrow, they wouldn't be part of. But then myself or Jackie will take them to a separate breakout room and we'll go over the basics with them. You know, we'll say, do you know how to ground? If not, we'll show them. Do you know how to protect? If not, we'll show them. Do you know how to open and close? If not, we'll show them. You know, but to get a feel, you know, and then if they know all that, we'll take them back to the main class and say, have a go. You know, we don't believe anyone into doing anything they don't want to do. You know that, Kerry, because you've been to the
I
you know, so if they didn't want to do it, they wouldn't have to. Sometimes you can learn just as much by listening and watching.
Yeah,
you know,
I agree 100%.
You know, so you know, it's just the way it is. So that if someone just said to me about that, then I would say yes, come to the psychic development. The drumming circle is a bit awkward because it's in person. So they'd have to live local or travel, you know. The witch circle's online, it's once a month, you know, and that's just a bit of a witchy get together. We'll go through whatever's topical at the time, whether it be the moons or the Sabbats, throw a few spells in at the end. You know, it's very you've come to that circle, you know. It's that circle's very light-hearted and about fun, you know, and just giving people a sense of community, because I think witches need that. You've got someone to deal with.
Higher supports. Oh God, I'm so terrible with names. And Nettie. Yeah, we're not doing readings today. We're just talking about spiritual things. But by all means, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I suppose you have already. Subscribe to the channel, and then you know, I will be doing live readings at some point. When I'm not so busy, because it's been a bit manic lately. But yeah, but stick around, you know, have a chat and stuff. So we interestingly, because I've got like my queue of questions. Welcome. And what was interesting, you started talking about the witches. So that was the first thing I was going to ask. You know, that was the next thing I was going to ask you. Like me, I'm quite scatty, so the questions are going to be like all over the place. So I do apologise. Well, I do
so much. I expect it all to come in different ways, because it's not just one subject, is it? So.
No, you're very interesting. I'm finding it all fascinating, and I can imagine everybody else is finding it really fascinating. So what kind of witch practice do you do? And we will talk more about the circle as well, because you did touch on that as well.
My witch practice is very much about me. Witchcraft is it could be a very standalone. I mean, I'll just say it in case people don't realise, there's a big difference between witchcraft and Wicca.
Okay. Yeah.
So witchcraft is very much a standalone practice that you do for yourself, and maybe you'd be the wise woman at the end of the village, you know, and you'd be doing your herbs for your cough. Here's your cough mixture, darling, you know, and all that. That's witchcraft, you know, looking after nature. Yeah, you do the tarot readings, you know, yeah, you might work with elementals, so you might work with fairies and things like that. Be very careful if you go anywhere near a fairy, mind you. But you know, don't make promises to fairies you don't intend to keep, because you will pay. Honestly, it's true. But Wicca is more of a religion. It's where the priestesses are and things like that, you know. So there is a difference, although there's overlaps. Of course, there's overlaps, you know. So I'm very much standalone as well. My witchcraft is the way, in a way, I choose to live my life. I mean, I'm surrounded by spell jars, look, spell jars that sit around me. That one's my protection spell jar. That's my self-love. Yeah. That one is a positivity spell jar, to help with anxiety. Not only that, I'm surrounded by crystals. They're everywhere. There's crystals everywhere. Absolutely everywhere there are crystals. Behind me is a shelf full of goddess dollies.
wow.
So that's how I choose to live my life. Through witchcraft. I live it in a very witchy way. I don't buy cough mixture. I make my own. I make my own bath salts. I'm very much like that. Shamanically is how I heal. That's what I do for others. I do the healing as well as the tarot and the psychic development. So that's where I see the gap. The witchcraft is for me, and everything else is for others. Saying that, though, we do hold a witchcraft circle.
Tell us more about that.
Yeah, we do a bit of teaching in it. We do a bit of talking in it. We do a bit about the correspondences in it. We only meet once a month. That's all we do, and we'd make a few spells. Everyone in the circle's made the protection spell jar. Everyone in the circle's made the self-love thing. And
this is online, isn't it? This is on online.
We do hold one in purpose. What am I talking about? We do hold one in person in Surrey. That meets at the Sabbats, around the Sabbats, which is the 8 celebrations of the year for the witchcraft. So we do meet around there. Sorry, someone's just messaged me. I'm gonna just minimize that so I can't see them coming in. That's very much more of a get together, the witch circle. That's how I like to look at it. We do all the right stuff. The circle is open, the circle is closed, protection is put in place, because you're dealing with spirit, and a bit like, not all spirit is nice. Not every human is nice. You have to have that equilibrium, I suppose. If you didn't know what evil is, how would you know what good is? If you didn't have the comparison. So that's what the witchcraft circle's about, really. It's a bit like having a bit of fun. I think witchcraft is fun in a way if you don't move over to the dark side of it. And that's down to the practitioner. That's down to the practitioner. Yes, there is black magic. Yes, there is white magic. And there's probably a bit of grey magic. There's probably a lot of white witches that are doing the lovely white witch thing until someone pisses them off. Do you know what I mean? And then before you know it, you end up in a freezer, in a bag. Who knows? Not literally, obviously. That's murder and you get arrested for that. But spiritually, you're like, I've had enough of you. You've cut yourself away from them. You've got, what do I do with all this now? You pop it in a bag and you stuff it in the freezer. So, and that, hi, Jennifer. And, Jennifer. So it's a bit like, but I'm not an idiot. There'll be people out there practicing dark magic, because that's what floats their boat. Let's just leave them be. That's my attitude. Just leave them be. Don't get involved. Then you can't come on the end of it, can you?
No, that's right. Yeah. Again, it's the power of the mind, isn't it? It's the intent that you put out there. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm running out of questions now. So, if anyone in the chat, if they want to ask any questions to Sam, by all means. Sam, is there anything that you would want to sort of like express a bit more on things that we've probably missed out, or
I think you've covered everything, to be honest. I think there's the, and just should we just go through the circle? I do. Like, so the drum circle, we've ticked that. The witchcraft circle, we've ticked that. Yeah, the psychic development, the free circle, I think is a good one for people.
Absolutely.
And you'd find the details of that on Meetup. you know, and it's by myself and Miguel, you know.
Okay, we've got a question in there with my daughter. What mantra do you live by?
My mantra is don't do anything to others that you wouldn't want done to yourself. And I've lived by that before I even started doing this. You know, be very mindful of how you treat others. You know, you could actually devastate someone with a flippant remark and not even realize, you know, and if you know that you want to say something or do something that you wouldn't like, then don't do it. And that is my mantra, you know, just don't do to others what you wouldn't like done to yourself. You know, and I always try to remember that. You know, sometimes it's not easy. Sometimes people really get under your skin.
Oh, God, yeah.
But just, you know, just try your best to, even if you need to express yourself, still be mindful of how or what you say.
Well, I've got a stick, Sam, so I'm going to be holding the stick and running.
Oh, yeah, or just hit them with a stick. You didn't mean hit them, yeah? Hit them with a stick. Because they won't shut up.
I am not physical.
I'm joking. You might damage the stick. Don't. It's a very important stick.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's probably not. This is secure. We're gonna do that. Me and the girls, we're gonna be holding the stick and like.
So I tell you what, I've actually heard. Now I don't know if it's true, but I've actually heard. As I said, I don't know if it's true that some schools have brought the principal into to work with that, because like some schools have brought meditation in, haven't they? Whereas some schools have actually brought in like the principle of the talking stick. You know, they're probably using a ruler or something, who knows? Do you know what I mean? But I've actually heard that some schools have bought these. It's a bit like the NHS now. Some NHS trusts use Reiki.
Yeah, they are bringing in that, which is
bringing in the spiritual stuff.
Great.
Yeah,
it is great. Because you know, I know people that's benefited loads from, you know, doing Reiki on them and stuff, and I've surprised myself, you know, because we'd it's the same when we do tarot readings and that, and people are saying, yeah, I can take that, and really, can you? You know?
Yeah, exactly. Really?
Yeah, really. Okay, we haven't got many questions in the chat, but that's okay because I have got like a finishing touch. Okay, so I got some fun questions.
Okay.
So, are you, Sam? Are you secretly a superhero or a supervillain?
I would like to think. I would like to be a superhero, but I'm a Leo fire sign. I can be a supervillain if that Leo poked with a big fiery stick.
Our mums are Leo.
I have to be honest. Yeah. The first thing I ever followed was my astrology sign. You know, the first thing ever. You know, so yeah, I think I do believe I'm kind. I do believe, you know, that my purpose here is to help people, and I love helping people, but don't take me for a fool. You know, and I think there's a supervillain inside of all. Shall I tell you what we'll call it, Kerry? It's my shadow side. There you go.
I like that. That's my shadow side coming out today.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to call it.
If you're not careful, it's going to come out full force.
Do you want to meet my shadow?
That's it.
Yeah, he will hit you with a stick, my shadow.
So, Spider, kill it, run, or panic until a true hero comes and vanquishes.
I'm a shamanic practitioner. Please don't ever kill a spider. I love all animals. Yeah, and I'll tell you something very interesting about spider. Now, okay, God didn't bless them with good looks. Okay, they're scuttly and they're ugly. I get it. Well, people don't like them. They're also blind and probably can't see you. They're actually running.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're blind. They can only see about a centimetre in front of them. Yeah, but they're running on vibration. So if you run, they're going to run because of the vibration. If you stand still, they'll do nothing. However, yeah, spiders. Let's go all shamanically. You can tell I've got serious now, can't you? Spiders.
Yeah, no. I'm all curious.
No killing the spiders. If you came to me for a empowerment reading, and a spider came along, I'm not going to lie. People are going to go, oh, I don't like spiders. I don't like spiders. But then I'll say to them, you know, what is there anything in your life you're creating right now? and they go, oh yeah, well, I want to do this, I want to do that. A spider to come to you shamanically to work with you as a power animal, if you are creating a new business, a new project, anything new like that, is the best animal for you to have. Yeah. Think about their webs. Think about how beautiful their webs are, how strong their webs are in comparison to them. They are shamanically known as the master creator. Yeah. That you would want them to come and work with you. Yeah. So put a blindfold on if you don't want to look at them, but please don't kill them, because they're coming to you for a reason. And don't fuck them up the Hoover either.
No, I call them. I have names for them. So
Yes, so do I. Boris, they're normally called.
Yeah, Bert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have them living in my house. I won't get rid of them. Unfortunately, I have 3 cats. They don't always seem the same eye to eye with me on it. Yeah, but shamanically, you know, all animals are sacred. You know, they all have their purpose in life. And if you were starting a new business or something you wanted to be successful and you were creating it from scratch, a spider would be one. And now everyone listening, they can all put their feet back on the floor now. The spider's gone.
Okay. Here's another question for you, Sam. I'm new to Earth. Explain tarot to me in 5 words or less.
New to Earth, did you say?
I'm new to Earth. I'm an alien.
Oh dear. Okay, tarot. Okay, tarot is very much, yeah. Now, people say it's fortune telling. I don't agree. It is going to tell your fortune, of course it is, yeah, or your future, should we say?
Yeah.
And people always say, why do you tell me about my past and present? That tells me nothing. Past and present is told. So if we get that right as tarot readers, we're going to get the future right. If I sat here for 45 minutes just telling you about the future, what proof is there that that's going to come true? There's no proof.
Correct. Yeah.
No proof whatsoever. I could just tell you anything. And if I was convincing enough, you'd go, oh. And then if I was lucky enough that something came true, you'd go, oh, something came true. You know, so you have the past and the present. So I wouldn't necessarily know the people that come to me, you know, and it's a bit like, oh my God, how did she know that happened to me when I was 9 years old? Well, I didn't. Spirit knew in the cards, you know, but I'm the vessel that communicates, whatever you want to call me. So yes, you can tell the future. Tarot though, yeah, and again, I don't know if you feel the same, Kerry, because obviously we have 2 very different types of readers, and that's great. Tarot is very much a snapshot in time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you can change what I could give you a reading now. I'm not going to, so please don't ask. I can give you a reading now with my little everyday witch cards.
Oh, I love those cards.
Yeah,
small ones as well. I got big ones, but I like.
Yeah,
I like
main cards are. Can you turn that off? No, I'm talking. Don't come here. They will see you in your pants. So you know, because you can change whatever future I give you at this moment in time is the truth, as the cards stand right now. However, if you didn't like that outcome, you could go and change it, because you have free will. You know, so you can change your future. So that's why I don't really like it as fortune telling, because it's changeable. You know, I don't advocate that people have readings all the time. You know, people get addicted to having readings, and you know that's, you know, I don't.
That's another story where it gets.
Yeah, that's another story. Yeah, and you know, it's a bit like that's spiritually when things go wrong, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? But yeah, as this moment in time, if myself or Kerry gave a reading, then yeah, you know, it's a snapshot in time, and we'd have got your past and present right, so that future is right. But you can change it, and that's how I would explain it. It's just a snapshot in what is in store for you.
Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't tell the lottery, because we would be away on a cruise by now, wouldn't we, Sam?
Well, tomorrow we'll be on a cruise, because we're going to win 180 million tonight. You know, you know, let's put it out there. If we win 180 million, you can all come on a cruise with us. But that's how I would explain to an alien I think I'd have more questions for the alien. I'd be like, hey, what are you doing here? Why you visited this mad world? You know?
Yeah, completely. So we're like kind of finishing up now. We're like running
Okay,
out.
my
So
love.
guys, if you have got questions, please put them in the chat now. You know, so you know we can continue. But I want to ask, say one nice thing about yourself.
One nice thing about me, I've got a really nice friend called Kerry Ann.
Oh, oh, that's so sweet. But
That's a
that's
nice
not
thing about me.
that's about no. It's got to be about you.
Well, it is about me. It's my friend. Makes me.
No, it's got to be about you personally.
Oh dear. I don't know. I don't like saying nice things about myself. I
Ah,
like to get in there. I like to get in there first with the undercut. You know, that's my nice thing about me. I like to think I'm kind. Actually, I know I'm not the easiest of person. I know I never shut up. But I do believe my heart is kind. You know, and treat me well, and I'll treat you well. You know, another mantra there. Look, I'm just full of
yeah,
mantras.
look, there goes this
Treat me well,
mantra.
and I'll treat you well. You know,
I-
and that's what I'd like to believe, that how I live my life. To be honest, we don't need to be unkind to each other. Others can do that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, none of us are perfect, so we all do have those buttons that get pushed now and again, and you know, little shadow people come out. That's what we're calling them now. Little shadow people come out. But other than that, yeah, I'd like to think I have and put it this way: I'm always going to love you if you had four legs, fluffy big tail, and went meow, because I love cats. But
So that's
thank
your
you so
favorite
much for having
animal
me on.
then?
I've really enjoyed it. I don't believe how quickly it's gone, actually.
I know. It's
Really, really
surprising,
quick.
isn't it? You get, you know, it's a small amount of questions, but you start kind of like you get things. And thank you for all the guys that's joined us on the chat.
Yeah,
Sorry we
thank
didn't
you.
get to interact too much on the chat.
Oh, hang on. We've got
Okay.
a
Oh,
last
wait, wait, we've
person,
got.
daughter.
If you could give one advice on your journey of readers, what would it be?
Of your journey of readers?
Can you elaborate on that, Jan?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. It depends. If I'm giving advice to people who are doing the reading, I would say to them, believe in yourself. Just believe in yourself. Do you know what I mean? Don't let others put you down. You're gonna, you know, if you choose a spiritual path and you choose to stick your head above the parapet and say, hi, hello, my name's Sam, I'm a tarot reader and a healer, you're putting your head up there for people to dash you down, you know, and they do that extremely well in this country. You have to get a thick skin and you have to believe in yourself. It doesn't matter if no one else believes in you, you know, and it'll be the ones close to you. So
I'm gonna add an extra. Gonna add one extra. Practice, practice, practice.
Yeah. You know, if you're a reader, practice. You never have learned it all. If you feel that you've learned everything, then you need to go and have a talk with yourself and your ego.
Absolutely, because I tell you, there is so much you can dive into the tarot. It's just unbelievable. You do the surface level when you learn it, but as you experience it and you experience life, it can change. It changes the game all the time. So
the biggest thing I think, Kerry Ann, is to believe in yourself, isn't it?
yeah,
You know, just
absolutely.
no matter what people say to you, no matter what they throw at you, and you know, they'll call you fake, they'll call you an imaginary, do you know what I mean? They'll say all that stuff at you. You know, the biggest one that'll be thrown at you is, oh, well, why are you charging money? Well, I'm sorry, take the spiritual thing out of it. Time is money. Yeah, I'm not saying that there aren't people out there charging way too much money, don't get me wrong. You know, because I'm like, how much? You know, but you know, there's a lot of work that goes behind circles and things like that. You know, that isn't just the 90 minutes that you've sat there and delivered what you teach in that week. There's the day before where you compiled it all, researched it all, written it all down.
And
you
it's
know,
your time too, isn't it?
yeah, so, you know, you have to look at time is money, and that's just a fact of the world. You know, so don't apologize for charging, because that is one thing that will be thrown at you left, right, and center. You know, and that's by people who just want a free reading half the time. Remember that.
Well, Sam, it's been amazing. Thank you so much for coming along. I really enjoyed it. And you know, no doubt a lot of, you know, because there'll be people that be watching this afterwards as well. So it's going to be on
I was going to say, how do I find it on YouTube?
I will send. It should be the link that I've sent you, but I will send it. I will send it again. So don't worry. With all the information.
I'm of an age where I'm not very technical.
Yeah. So we have got the next guest, which is Jackie, who works alongside.
She's my partner in crime. She's my sister from another mother. She is.
Which is in July the 15th. So I'm so looking forward to this. Now, Jackie, she's a psychic development tutor and also a Reiki master, shamanic practitioner, and does goddess retreats. And
she's a big witch, is what she is. She's more of a witch than me.
She's put saying that she's a beginner witch.
Oh, she's just being coy.
So we're gonna so I'm looking forward to that one. So Sam, have a good evening. And thank you. And I will speak to you soon. And I will
thank you guys. Thank you everyone. Don't forget Tina Moore. Don't forget Tina Moore, Kerry-Ann.
Sorry?
Don't forget Tina Moore. Amazing platform medium.
Well, tell her to you got my email address, get her to email me.
I will do.
Anyone that wants to come on, and it even if you're just practicing, so if people who's just starting out or has been they're still dipping their toes at the moment, I'm looking for people in all walks of life, that's had that experience, because I think we all can give a bit of our experiences and have that chat, which is gonna get the message out there a bit, and not make it so woo-woo. Although I do like woo-woo, but it's everyday witch, everyday life.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for having us.
Take care. Okay,
Thank you. Bye, darling. Bye.